Alright, looks like I'm here. Okay. There one, I think. Alright, good evening everybody, I'm back. Managed to make it on at a somewhat decent hour. It was kind of a busy day today. But yeah, I'm going to keep working on my commission here tonight, which is the arrowhead pattern with kind of a lightning detail on the side. Go ahead and get my cameras adjusted here. Now my setup is kind of driving me nuts today because I can get the camera adjusted for my face cam. I can get adjusted to where I want, but for some reason it's just not letting me do much of anything with my weaving cam. So I still have to figure it out, but I'm not going to do it now. So yeah, hopefully that works. Hopefully everybody can hear me. I think everybody can hear me. Everything indicates that people can hear me. But yeah, go ahead and start weaving here. Sit back, relax, enjoy the music. And yeah, just kind of sit back and relax. So that doesn't work. I was hoping that would work, but it didn't. You can talk, you know. Okay. You're just sitting there awful quiet, is all. Please don't play with my stuff, Loki.
I'm just helping stuff up. Stuff that's going on Discord.
Are you gonna go back to bed, probably? Not for a little bit. I wore your flame sash to Bex yesterday. That got a few looks, that's for sure.
That's what it is.
That thing took me forever. I'm probably not gonna get anybody on here till around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. That's when people usually show up. Maybe you can keep him occupied for me. He's usually a little turd.
Finish with that piece.
I'm about a third of the way through the first half, or 2/3 of the way through the first half. So, no, not almost done. It's just been going pretty quickly. The arrowhead patterns actually works up pretty quickly versus some of the other patterns that I do. Except when it's massive, like that scarf I did. Then it takes forever.
Well, it was massive and it was regular thread, so.
Yeah.
For scarves.
Yeah, the chunky thread I usually use for scarves goes a lot quicker. That's why I don't charge as much. Okay. Quit.
Give me a butt. Why do you do that? Why don't you bring out the bamboo sword? I'll do it.
I love how he still hasn't figured out what to do with that cat toy. I think it makes too much noise. I think that's what bothers him about it. How's your stomach doing? Okay. I keep forgetting to pull this track out. This is the creepy track, and I actually don't like it that much. Here we go. I didn't want to do that. I bumped my camera. Yeah. It happens from time to time. That's how much I've done there. How long did it take me to do that? Okay, so 15 minutes for 2 passes. Okay, that's not too bad. Hey, could you do me a favor?
What's that?
Could you get me a glass of tea, please?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I think they're opening up after that. Thank you. Dinner made me a lot thirstier than I thought. So I've kind of come to the conclusion I need to give up on telling myself not to start any new projects until I finish all the old ones. Because it just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got this commission, which was
I got the commission, yeah. But I mean, the black and purple one I did not have to start. That one just kind of happened. What?
See people are streaming.
Yeah.
Get used to how that's a few seconds behind.
Yeah, I know. It's
I'm seeing your hands doing one thing and then you see the hands up there doing another thing.
yeah. It's kind of what I had to sacrifice. I had to do that to up the video quality so people could actually see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I could have it pretty much be real time, but the video would be a little bit more grainy than what it is now.
That's right.
And I felt that I could deal with a couple seconds of lag.
You give more quality.
To give a better view of what I'm actually doing. I mean, don't get me wrong, it still has its issues.
Of course.
I am just doing this with a little rinky-dink webcam. It's not like I have a GoPro or anything like that, but...
No.
I can't afford those. It's about a 10 to 15 second lag, I think.
Yeah.
Depending on how well the server is doing at the time.
Just remember that the internet here has been probably the best thing for it.
Yeah, I mean, the quality has definitely jumped since I was doing the live streams back at the old place. Come on. There we go. Okay.
What's the stream health? What's the stream health?
Oh, it lets me know if it's starting to get laggy or
Gotcha.
stuff like that. The whole resolution thing is just the resolution that the cameras work best in. So that's what I stick with. YouTube doesn't like it very much, but it still works. So I don't worry about it. I'm just happy that I figured out how to play music that wasn't coming through secondhand.
Yeah.
Because that just did not sound right. But at least this sounds okay. At least I hope it does. Sometimes it has its glitches. Just, yeah. Okay. So I got somebody in the chat. Hello. Cinnamon. Okay, I love your work. Thanks, I appreciate your time. My phone went off. Who taught you how to do this, and do you sell your work? I am self-taught. I got an instructional book when I was a kid from my mom. And I just kind of went through it and started teaching myself. And then later on I found more books with more patterns in them, and I continued to teach myself. I do sell my work. Most of what I have available is on my Facebook page, and you can message me there if you're interested in buying any of those. I'm currently working on a commission at this time, so I'm not taking commissions. And probably won't be taking commissions for another 2 to 3 months until I finish the one I'm working on now. Oh gosh, my camera's going all crazy on me. Come on. Please. Kind of. Okay, here we go. You're very much welcome. there's that one so far. Coming up pretty good. Let's see how much further I have to go on first half. I need to get to 32 inches. Oh, that does look pretty cool looking. Especially from up here. Look at that. That looks so cool. I love it. Okay. Let's see where I'm at right now. Okay, looks like I'm at 22 inches in length. So I got 10 more inches to go on this first half here. I really do like how this is looking. I'm probably gonna do more of these. Let's see, why did this go off on me? That's probably why. I need to mute that. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah. That's how that looks. Keeping Loki occupied for me? For the moment? Okay. Yep.
Give it the butt slaps.
Hey, can you do me a favor and hand me the black and purple one?
Black and purple.
Yep. Far right. Yep. Big out a little bit more on that one. Thank you. It's nice when I have an assistant.
Well, you can't count on me being sick every weekend.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Gotta run out of MTO real quick.
It is nice to have you home for a change, though.
Yeah. Oh, we should be under better circumstances.
Yeah, I know, me too.
But,
Stomach ulcers, not pleasant.
no.
He did again this morning.
What do you do?
He pulled the spool of cotton cord out again. From all the way to the back of the bookshelf. He pulled it all the way out.
Yeah, it goes the same way.
I see that. Hello. Oh, you're welcome.
It's good to see other people gushing over your work. Because usually it's just me.
Shush.
And you don't believe me because I'm your husband.
You're my husband. You kind of have to say that kind of stuff.
Maybe so. That doesn't make any less true.
What do I do with all my tails as you go? They just kind of hang down. And every once in a while, I do have to stop and untangle them. So they just kind of hang as I work. I don't have this really on a proper loom. Some techniques that I've read about, I haven't tried them yet, I still have to try it, but some techniques that I've read about will actually have all the ends like tied to a band that's around your waist just to keep tension on all the threads. I haven't tried it that way myself. I know it's a method that is used, but just because I've been doing it this way for so long, this is just kind of how I prefer to do it, with everything just kind of hanging down. The longer a piece gets, the more difficult it is. Because, you know, with all those threads hanging about, it gets everywhere. And then it gets even harder with cats. Because, you know, cats are cats.
Yes, spell that. Since you're working on something, that's all.
Okay. How long are your strings when you start, and where do we add beads to which strings? How long my strings are when I start really depends on the length of the piece that I'm working on. My biggest piece, which was 10 feet when finished, I started with 14 feet of yarn, which would be your flame sash.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, that's my longest one. So I had started with 14 feet of yarn.
That boy was huge. You had the entire living room taken up
Mm-hmm.
as you were measuring that out.
Yeah, I did. So, it's also a wider piece. So when you're doing pieces that are wider, it also tends to take up more length as you weave across as well. So you also have to account for that. Hence why 14 feet turned into a 10-foot finished piece. And I didn't even cut off that much when I was finished. Normally for me, a rule of thumb is I usually add at least half again as much length as what I want to have. Because it's easier to cut off the excess versus having a piece that's too short. So this one was just a practice piece, and that would have been I just kind of wrapped it around. I did it on the desk there, so that's 4 feet times 2 because I wrap it around and then double it. Okay, yeah. So this one is starting around with 8 feet, and I'm thinking I'm going to get about 6 feet out of it. So I hope that answers your question. Beads are beads are a bit different. Let me get my beaded piece out. It's in my box. It's up here. I know you're hungry. You have a half hour before dinner. Oh, shush. You're just a goober. All right. So, beadwork. I have worked on this one during live streams, so I don't remember which one, but this one, I was just using the beadwork where you just pop the pattern out so you could see it better. This one's a kind of a chain pattern, kind of a variation of the diagonal stipple. Yeah, it is pretty nice. So here's the back side of it. So you can kind of see the chain pattern, but it just doesn't come out very well. But with the beads, it just kind of just pops, and I love that. So with this one, I really only had to thread beads on my pattern threads, which in this case were orange. And then, so say this right here is the beaded piece. I don't have any beads on this one, but I was doing beads on kind of the outside edge of this. What I would do is I would thread beads onto probably these 2 threads and these 2 threads, and then before I weave across each time, I would slide the beads up into place, and then I would just weave across, and then once you complete that row, that holds the beads in place, and then you kind of rinse and repeat. That part in itself is not very time consuming. The real time consuming part is getting the beads on the yarn in the first place. Yeah, you just add them in when you need them. There are other methods to getting doing beads in a woven piece. I've heard of people sewing them on afterwards. I mean, those pieces do look nice, but I kind of prefer the look of having them woven in and not having to go back through. But yeah, basically, just had all my beads on the orange threads, and then I would slide them into place. This one I wanted the beads to kind of stand out a bit more, so there's actually 2 beads per pass that I did. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Anytime now. There we go. Perfect. So I would actually slide 2 beads up, and then I would weave across, and then I'd slide 2 more beads up on each of those threads, and then I'd weave across. And then just for the ends here, I can't really get my camera to focus. There it goes. I just braided about 1 inch, put a bead into place, and kept braiding. So that's kind of the gist of how I do beadwork. Looks like I'm going to have to do another beadwork piece sometime. Let's oh, that actually might be a better example to show. Can you hand me? It's on the box over there. That first one that I did, my little itty bitty one. Yeah, that one. My little tiny one that I did. So I did the border on that one.
Shush.
This was the... What are you doing?
He's being the butt.
He really is, yeah. So this is the first beaded piece I ever did. This was just kind of a practice run. And this one I just did one bead.
You are an accordion of a cat.
That's a weird descriptor for Loki, babe.
I mean, he is. First when he pulled him on his back and just stretched it all the way out.
So, yeah. Anyway, got distracted. Anyway, this one was just one bead per pass. And I did it along the edge of the sawtooth here, and then I also did it as kind of a little bit of a border here. And you can really see the difference between one bead and two beads. They're the same size bead. Yeah, if you're gonna go for a beadwork piece, definitely get your bearings with a small one first, like I did. Because you can ask anybody who knows me, who saw me working on this piece. Yeah, it was a pain in the butt. And I was cursing at it several times. Mostly, not really, and again, not when weaving. It was threading the beads onto the yarn. I tried beading needles. When you're using the glass beads like this, it doesn't quite go on the yarn very easily. So beading needles tended to break on me. So I actually ended up just using a piece of fishing line. Just kind of looped around the yarn. And that actually held up better than the metal beading needle. Yep. A bit of a trick you learn. Again, I'm pretty sure other weavers who are a lot better at beadwork than I am have different tricks and different methods. I haven't figured out what they are yet. I will eventually, though, but for now I kind of get by with what I can.
You're a strange boy.
Piece of tape taped on the ends. With how small the beads are to begin with, I'm not quite sure that would work. I mean, I could try it sometime, see if it would work, but I haven't gotten around to doing a beaded piece in a while. The last one I did was the red one here. And that one was very frustrating. Supply a small Métis grip we would love to learn. Oh, okay. Yeah. Pony beads would probably work too. They would be a bit bigger and a bit more bulky. But if you're learning how to do beadwork and want something that's just easy to work with, I'd say probably a plastic pony bead would probably work out pretty good. Well, I'm glad you did catch up to me, because if I can help you learn anything, I am a happy person. Pony bead, it's like those plastic craft beads that are usually in like kits for kids. It's about the size of a pea, maybe a little bit bigger. I don't have any pony beads on me. But they would be a lot easier to thread, and for a beginner, I think it would be pretty easy to use. Maybe I'll have to try it sometime. Try the pony beads on it.
Sorry, taking a look at
your
ancestry stuff.
You got some more stuff on your ancestry? Okay. Right.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm not technically from. I don't have any strong connections to Wales genetically. Darn.
No, but I probably do.
Probably.
Sandra Exendine. Good evening. Hello. I know that name. Oh, okay. That's where I recognize that name. You just recently followed me on Facebook.
Still have that 0.7% that's on the side. I'm guessing that's the cherry. Because that would have been. Even my great grandma was right that she was 1/8 Cherokee. Like, that's a 16th for my grandpa, 32 for my dad, 64 for me. And that's that's a very liberal estimation. If there was even less in my great grandma, then 0.7% would make sense.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's still there.
Yeah.
It's kind of ingrained in family history.
Hmm. Gosh, I got dark real quick. Come on, brighten up. This camera, I swear.
And again, if I go to the conservative amount rather than speculative, then that unassigned raises up to 3.1% rather than 0.7%. So they're also doing a lot of speculation.
All right, so what's 1/64th?
That's 0.01%. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that'd be 1.5% actually. Yeah, Yeah, so that's 1.5%.
Yep. So you have a good chance of that.
Might be part of that, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Again, that's on the conservative end.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed that there wasn't any Scottish connection, as far as I know.
Just the Irish?
Just the Irish.
Yeah, that's okay. Explains your love of potatoes.
And then, of course, I had a little bit of Scandinavian in me. Excuse me.
You're okay there?
Yep.
Okay. Working on projects, I try to work on something every day. The weeding videos I do, the live streams once a week, and I'm hoping to start trying to get some more videos up. More particularly, tutorial videos that are kind of a little bit more detailed in on each of the patterns. Hoping to, anyway. I gotta find the time for it, and we're also in the process of looking for a house, and might get kind of hectic here in the next few months. The live stream I usually try to do between, I try to start between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. There have been times where I've started more like 9:30, 9:45, just to try to get something in. But, yeah, most of the time it's Sunday nights, around 8:30, and I'll leave till around 10:30. The Métis sash. I'm working on one that's similar. It's called an Assumption. I think it's yeah. I think that the Métis and the Assumption might be the same thing. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll work on that one next, and maybe you can tell me, because given that I've taught myself how to weave, and I'm actually not myself Native American, I actually have a hard time finding out which patterns were woven, or which patterns were, you know, done by gosh, I can't formulate words tonight. But I have a hard time figuring out like which patterns were more common amongst different tribes. The only one that I kind of know for sure is that the interlock patterns, like the arrowhead and the lightning pattern, were more Iroquois, and then the farther north you go, the more complicated and awesome looking they get. But yeah, I have an Assumption one actually that I am working on. Can you hand me the black and white one, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Alright, so I was right, Assumption. Okay. So, when I actually first learned this one, I was introduced to it as a double lightning. And it didn't have as many color bars in it. What was the first one I did? Oh yeah, that was the first one I did. Let me go grab it quick. Okay. Oh, thanks. How long does it go? I just started the second half of this one. First half, I think, is about 4 feet long. So, yeah, I'll be I think it's about 4 feet long. Not sure. It'll probably be around 7 to 8 feet long when I'm finished it. First one I did, it's kind of a smaller scaled down version of it. When I first learned it, it was called the Double Lightning, and I didn't figure out that it was the L'Assomption until later on when I got hold of a different book. So this one is quite a bit smaller and not nearly as crazy as this one. So this one only has the 2 lightnings in it, and then the border color. So a very small one. And again, this was the first one that I ever did. And then finally got a hold of some more books and started learning more patterns. And when the L'Assomption came up, and I was looking at it and going, it's basically the Double Lightning. I already know this pattern. It's just bigger. But the first actual... Oh, where is it? It's in those samples. Oh, I sold the Acadian. Assumption. Where are you, Assumption? Ugh. Excuse me as I dig around my box. Shh. Shh. Okay, there it is. It's actually the same size, same gauge yarn. It's just at different times of my weaving history. Also depending on what piece I'm working on, my tension seems to vary. Like I'll get into a certain tension with one piece, and then another piece I'll go a completely different tension. But this was the second one I ever did. And this was pretty much patterned straight from a book that had the assumption in there. And when I was working on this one, this was kind of pretty much when I realized that it was just double lightning with more lightnings. Yep, it's red, gray, black, and white. So
that's one of my favorite color schemes that you've done.
Oh yeah. I need to do some more of them.
Very true.
Yeah. But yeah, this one was just a sample piece that I did to kind of showcase the pattern. I actually did it for a project in school I tried to do a short history on figure weaving, at least what I could discover about it, and then I made samples of every pattern I could get a hold of, or at least of the basic patterns. Are they wool? No, these are not wool. I can't afford wool. These are all acrylic yarn. Okay, thank you. If I could afford wool yarn, I would probably make more in wool yarn, but wool is very expensive. So pretty much most of my pieces are made in acrylic. I really have only one wool piece that I've made, and that's because the yarn was gifted to me by a friend who was a sheep shearer, carded her own wool, spun and dyed her own yarn. And she gave me some yarn to make a belt with. So this one tension's actually pretty loose compared to one of my other pieces. Yeah, compared to the first piece I was working on, this tension is not very tight at all. And again, it's just kind of how it turned out when I started working on it. It wasn't because I was trying to do a loose one, it's just kind of how it turned out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can find the books on Amazon. The first book that I ever had was actually a gift to me from my mom. She saw a demonstrator working on this stuff up in we were up in Mackinac, Michigan, and Mom saw a demonstrator working on this, and she thought that it was something that I could do. And then she found out she could get it from a shop that was actually in my hometown. So, guess what I got for Christmas that year? 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not right. 1, 2. Took me a lot of practice. Okay. Books. Okay. Let me finish this row real quick. And I will show you books. One book I have 3 books total, and one book I really haven't gone through much. It's got a couple of weaving techniques in there that I haven't learned yet, but I'll show them to you anyway. Alright, so this was the first book I ever had. And this is by Alta R. Turner. And it goes over pretty much the basics. So it has in it what I call the 5 core patterns. And pretty much the core 5 patterns are pretty much the patterns. You learn these patterns, you've pretty much learned the basics of the more complicated and more intricate patterns as well. So it's got pretty good instructions on how to prepare your piece. It's got nice colored pictures, very nice technical illustration that's easy to understand and read. And this book is where I learned my first 5 patterns. So it's got diagonal, it's got the chevron in there, how it works. Yes, you can rewatch my videos. Pretty much all my videos are on my channel. All the live streams I've done are still on the channel, and you can go back and rewatch them. There's also something in here I haven't learned how to do yet. Peruvian rep rate is something I haven't learned how to do yet. But it's in here too. And there's the double lightning one. So yeah, they called it the double lightning in this one and not the L'Assomption. I don't know why. But yeah, it starts off with the diagonal to the diamond, and it just kind of goes easy. I'm trying to remember if this one showed me how to do a double pattern or if I just kind of did it on my own. Nope, this was the one that I learned how to do a double chevron and a double diamond with as well. Yep. Yep, so it was this one. This one will also tell you how to do double chevron and double diamond. So that was the first book I ever had. These next 2 books I got later on. Actually, this one's old and beat up because I've had it since I was 11 and I'm 27 now. It's been around for a while. And okay, so the next book I got in college when I was doing an art project in college because I graduated with an art major, and I kind of did a little bit of everything. So this one is also a really good one. It's got very good clear pictures. As you can tell, a very nice picture of a very nice L'Assomption there. And this is the one where I learned a lot of my other patterns in. So it's got some beginners projects in here as well. It's got some tips on how to measure out your yarn, how long you should cut your yarn. I always just kind of eyeballed it and hoped it would work. And then I found this book and it turned out, a little easier to do. So, yeah, this one's also really nice. It's also got some tips on tension. Get some examples of what happens when there's too much tension. Example of what happens when there's not enough. How to do a bullseye. I'm still learning this. Basically kind of evening out your middle so that you don't have that annoying section on the sides where the you have like a ½ inch of thread that's just kind of sticking out. So that is Finger Weaving Untangled by Carol James. You can also find this one on Amazon. That's where I found it anyway. Oh yeah, it was this one was very helpful. This one helped me learn my more intricate patterns. So yeah, this is one where I found my flame the flame pattern, which is the one my biggest piece is in that pattern. It's probably, yeah. And then the Acadian, which is the double arrowhead, this is the book I also learned that one in. And then also in the back, it's got some very useful, if you're more of a visual or technical visual learner, it also has graph patterns in the back that you can follow that are also very useful. So this one's also a really good book. And then this one, I haven't really gotten into this one very much. It was a little bit harder to read. But what I liked about this one is that he went a bit more into the history of finger weaving, you know, and also about, you know, which tribes did which patterns, which was more common. This one's not really, I wouldn't say this one's really a beginner's book. But he does go into the patterns pretty well. Yeah. This one I haven't actually read a whole lot. But it's also got other patterns that I've been wanting to learn. Because it's got interface weaving in here, which I've been asked about, which I do intend on learning eventually. And this was also one of the ones where I learned how to do beadwork, because he had the section on beadwork. So this one is also a pretty good one to have if you want to look into more of the technical aspect of finger weaving, because it's very technically written. I'm trying to find which one it was. I do know he's got an assumption in here. Lightning, chevron, diamond, assumption. Yeah, he does have an assumption on there. Yeah, the picture on here says it's a late 19th century Hudson Bay Company assumption sash. And the Hudson Bay Company was pretty well known for trading in assumption sashes. You're welcome. I'm actually still looking for more books on finger weaving. I found one. I just have to get some spare cash to get it sometime. It was about 25 bucks on Amazon. So yeah, those are the 3 books that I mainly learned from. And that first book being the primary one up until I got into college. Because I think there was a green and orange arrowhead one that I was working on when I started college. I didn't finish that one until the end of my freshman year. Right, Mark. All right. Good night, Lynetta. I'm your count. Yep, I am counting. I count threads on this one because if I don't, I lose my place and I mess up my row. I've had to go back and undo a row several times on this one. Two, three, 4, 5. Two, three, 4, 5. Okay, yep, I'm good. Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes they can throw me off. You're not supposed to be there. Get out there. Here we go.
First, I thought you were talking about the gear for a second.
Nope. Nope, I'm talking to a third of yarn that ended up in a place it wasn't supposed to be. I mean, it was a black thread, if that counts. I'm surprised he's not up here already. He's usually trying to get into Loki's food by now. Alright. That's a pass on that one. Okay. Yeah. I think it's time to stop for the night. Okay. I gotta get this thing checked out sometime, figure out what's going on. Because it doesn't act like carpal tunnel, it acts more like tendinitis. It just hurts. Ugh. Okay. Oop, not what I wanted. There we go, that's what I want. Alright, yep, I think we'll go ahead and call it there for the night. Yeah, wrist is not happy with me right now, so I gotta give it a break. But, hopefully same time next week. Again, I try to get the live stream started between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. And then I just weave for a few hours. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below after the video posts. I'll get back to you. I'll get with you as soon as I can. Hopefully, and answer you to the best of my abilities. But, yeah, thanks for joining me. Lynette, it was nice talking to you. I'm glad I could help you out. Again, those books that I have can be found on Amazon. At least that's where I found mine. And I know of at least one other book that I still have to find and get. So when I do get that one, I'll be sure to show it to you guys. So until next time, I hope you have a good rest of your evening. Good night.